What if the secret to rising above mediocrity, to breaking through the noise, to becoming not just good but truly exceptional boils down to one simple habit? Not talent, not money, not connections, but a practice so powerful yet so underestimated that most people completely ignore it. Here is the truth. There is one habit that quietly separates the people who win from everyone else who just watches. A habit that doesn't make headlines, doesn't look flashy, and doesn't need to be posted online for validation. So it's the habit of consistency. Doing the work, improving by 1%, and letting the compounding effect of repetition turn ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. Not motivation, not bursts of excitement, not the occasional grind, but showing up every single day, whether you feel like it or not. The people who win really win have built consistency into the core of their identity. And that's what makes all the difference. Because if you truly understand and adopt it, it will change your life. Let's dive deep into why this habit matters more than almost anything else. Why consistency outperforms talent and motivation. Or the entrepreneur who launches ideas constantly but never sticks with one long enough to see results. Who makes small improvements consistently. Who doesn't seek perfection, just progress. Or the student who studies only when the pressure's high but never builds lasting understanding. Talent can take you far, but without discipline, it fades into wasted potential. Because real results are almost always found in boring repetition. The workouts when no one is watching. The study sessions when friends are out partying. Motivation can spark action, but it can't carry you through discomfort, boredom, or setbacks. They ask, what does the best version of me do every day? Talent is exciting. Motivation is contagious, but both are unreliable. It turns plans into progress. It turns small efforts into unstoppable momentum. Consistency, on the other hand, is what bridges the gap between intention and achievement. Think about the gym guy who works out hard for 1 week but disappears for 3. They want massive transformation overnight, but the biggest changes come from small actions repeated relentlessly. Now compare that to someone who shows up 5 days a week, even if it's just for 45 minutes. Over time, guess who wins? Always the one who is consistent. Consistency is boring, and that's why it works. Then suddenly, we live in a world addicted to stimulation. Instant gratification, rapid rewards, quick fixes. And that's the trap. No one sees the early mornings, the late nights, the repetitions, the rejections, the drafts that never get published. They see the success but never the consistency behind it. Winners don't wait for inspiration. They build systems. They turn their goals into routines. They eliminate decision fatigue by making action non-negotiable. They don't ask, do I feel like doing this today? And then they do it. Not physically but psychologically. It requires delayed gratification. It asks you to show up even when no results are visible. You stop chasing perfection and start chasing progress. It forces you to trust the process over the outcome. Not because it's exciting, but because it's necessary. They thought it would be fast. They thought it would be exciting. They thought motivation would last forever. They train because it's part of who they are. They write every day even if most of it gets deleted. The compounding power of daily action. Most people dramatically underestimate the power of compounding effort. You write 1 page every day in a year. You've written a book. You invest a few dollars weekly. In years, you've built wealth. You practice your craft for an hour a day. In time, you outperform the competition. Consistency compounds. Slowly at first. It's invisible at first. No applause, no recognition, just effort. But one day, something shifts. People start calling you lucky. Winners embrace the invisible work because they know it's never really invisible, it's just not immediately rewarded. Why most people fail to be consistent. So if consistency is so powerful, why don't more people practice it? Because it's hard. Most people quit not because they're weak, but because they were sold the wrong idea of success. But the truth is, consistency is not glamorous. It's repetitive. It's slow. It's sometimes frustrating. And yet, it's everything. The moment you shift your mindset from results to repetitions, everything changes. What consistency looks like in real life. Let's make this tangible. A successful writer doesn't wait for inspiration. A top athlete doesn't train only when it feels good. A growing business doesn't survive off viral moments. It thrives on consistent value, consistent service, consistent improvement. Even in relationships, consistency builds trust. It's not the grand gestures, but the regular check-ins, the steady presence, the showing up even when life gets busy. Whatever area of life you want to improve, it begins with a simple question. What is the smallest action I can take today and every day that moves me forward? Then make it a ritual. That's how winners operate. That's how transformation begins. The identity shift behind consistency. Here's the real secret. They've become the kind of person who does those things naturally. The most consistent people aren't forcing themselves to do hard things. It's not about willpower, it's about identity. They don't say, I have to work out. They say, I'm someone who works out. They say, I'm someone who starts the day strong. They don't say, I have to wake up early. When consistency becomes part of your identity, effort becomes automatic. You're no longer negotiating with yourself. You've already decided who you are, and now your actions follow that decision. So ask yourself, what identity are you reinforcing every day? Is it one of discipline and follow through, or one of delay and doubt? Your habits are votes for the kind of person you're becoming. Cast your votes wisely. How to build consistency starting now. Let's get practical. How do you actually develop this habit? Most people fail because they try to do too much, too fast. Start small. Ridiculously small. Want to get in shape? Don't start with an hour at the gym. Put your workout clothes by the bed. Remove social media from your home screen. Set reminders. A routine. After brushing your teeth, before checking your phone, after your morning coffee. Start with 10 minutes a day. Want to read more? Don't aim for a book a week. Aim for 5 pages a day. Make it so easy you can't say no. Then link it to a trigger. Stacking habits helps anchor them. They never let one off day become an off week. Track it, not to chase perfection but to build momentum. Seeing that streak grow is powerful. Missing one day is human. Missing 2 is the beginning of a new pattern. And most importantly, remove friction. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. You're not relying on motivation. You're designing your environment to support your identity. They build winning days stacked on top of each other until the breakthrough becomes inevitable. Consistency isn't perfect, it's persistence. Some days, you'll fall short. You'll miss a day. You'll feel tired. You'll be tempted to throw it all away. Don't. Consistency doesn't mean never slipping. It means getting back up fast. They showed up when no one was buying. They served when no one was watching. They built something no one could take away from them. The best performers in any field are not perfect. They're resilient. They bounce back. You just need to outlast, outrepeat, outcommit. While others wait for the right time, you make every time right. You don't need to be extreme. You need to be consistent. It doesn't scream, it doesn't boast, but it wins. Just to the version of you that didn't quit every time. Who doesn't look for excuses, but finds the rhythm. The quiet power of winning days. Winners don't wait for breakthroughs. They understand that greatness isn't built in a day, but it is built daily. The student who aces the exam didn't cram the night before. They reviewed notes every evening. The author who hits the bestseller list didn't write in a frenzy. They wrote daily, rain or shine. Let consistency do what talent and motivation never could. The entrepreneur who suddenly succeeds didn't strike gold. Day after day, step after step. Your consistency is your advantage. Here's the truth most people don't want to admit. You don't need to be the smartest, the fastest, or the most talented. While others stop and start, you keep moving. Consistency is the quiet advantage no one sees coming. You don't need a massive plan, you need a small action. Done every day. You don't need to prove yourself to the world. Final thoughts. Your future is built in repetition. Here's the question. What will you become if you simply refuse to stop? Imagine the version of you who keeps showing up, who does the work daily. That version of you exists. It's built one habit at a time, one consistent action at a time. And it starts now. Winners aren't born. They're built by what they do when no one is watching. So if you remember nothing else from this, remember this. Your life is shaped by what you do consistently, not occasionally. Choose your habits, show up every day. That's the difference. That's the habit, and that's how you win.